Our next guest believes that SCOTUS should overturn it and allow states to ban abortion, which is essentially what it would do. Joining us now to discuss is Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry. Sir, what is your take on what you've seen so far of the Alito document, which, by the way, Chief Justice Roberts is saying it's an authentic document. So what you're reading from that, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm glad to see that there is some authentication to it. It puts to bed, whether or not this leak was in fact a leak, which evidently now it is, which is troubling in of itself. I think that does not bode well for the court and the institution. I think that if you take the opinion at face value and you say that is the opinion that ultimately will be released and those 5 justices hold to that position, I think that at the end of the day, federalism wins. It is something that many of the attorney generals, especially from Republican states, have been clamoring for quite some time. I think that when you look at the problems that America faces, a lot of this is due to an overpowering centralized government, which is not what the Constitution and the founders who wrote it envisioned. And so we get back to federalism, where many of these rights are basically placed inside of the enforcement of the states.
Yeah. And even though the ominous sound of federalism makes it sound like the federal government would have more power. No, federalism is saying the states make up the government and the states would have the right to write those laws. So final comment on that, and then I wanted to get to the border as a topic. Did you have a final thought, sir?
Yeah, look, I think that it is exciting. We would like to see this court. Part of the appointments that were made under the Trump administration were specifically to try to bring the Constitution back into focus and federalism, like you say, enacting states' rights. And of course, look, when you go back to that issue, when you go back to placing more power in the states, which is the way the Constitution was structured, there are good and bad parts to that. But I think that it's the right balance and the right tone that should be struck at this time.
Yeah. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. You're leading a coalition of 14 states that are suing the Biden administration over an immigration rule, largely known as the asylum rule, and it removes federal immigration judges. This is what you would like to do. Remove federal immigration judges from reviewing asylum claims, and instead it would give some employees from within the Department of Homeland Security authority to grant asylums to migrants outright. Tell us how that would work.
No, actually, you've got it.
Got it backward. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Instead of me reading what was in there, you tell me the way this is supposed to work.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting phenomenon because first, the Biden administration put in place this executive order that was going to take away the power of immigration judges and place it in the hands of DHS employees. And the whole reason for that executive order was because they said that it would streamline the process and help with the backlogging, right? And at the time, there really was not that big of a backlog. Then the administration comes in and creates the backlog or creates the potential backlog by lifting Title 42. And so this was basically Exhibit A for the Biden administration creating a crisis under which they could then put in place their open border policies. And so what they're saying is we're going to create the crisis by lifting Title 42, get this huge influx of immigrants coming across the border. And by the way, we're going to bypass the administrative judges that are put in place by Congress and let employees handle these asylum requests. And put in place the Biden administration's open border policy. This is an absolute attempt by the administration to just let these people come into the country and do whatever they want. It is, again, Exhibit A for granting non-citizens more rights than our citizens.
Okay. The critics say that you're bypassing what Congress has written, that you're bypassing what the laws would allow. But this is affecting you directly. Give me your response to that, if you would.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that the judge will settle and quiet those critics. Look, again, what I would tell you is that citizenship is supposed to have privileges. It's supposed to mean something. But under the Biden administration and under the Democrats over the last couple of decades, they respect non-citizens more than citizens. They infer greater rights on non-citizens than citizens. And when you do that, you basically make citizenship nothing. It means nothing to be a citizen. It takes away the privileges of being a citizen.
Right.
What we're hoping is that the judge will write the law, and we'll see what he says in court.
Mr. Landry, I hope you can stand by for a moment because we'll probably want to get your thoughts on this. But Chuck Schumer, I believe, the senator, is speaking, I believe, in Washington. Let's listen in.
Protect a woman's right.